thing coming. He makes history. Needs 16-6 to average 30, a 30-point triple-double over a 10-game span.
One big half.
One big half? Sure. Leg said you're not going to see a guy have a better quarter than he had in the first quarter. Golden State was down to 8 guys in this game, all right? They're banged up, as we know, so many injuries. Doncic, who had a 40-plus point triple-double his last time out, rolling. Feed Finney Smith there with a throwdown. Little look away. Just over 3 minutes to go in the first. Doncic, he loves that spot. Next Mavs possession. He loves that spot. You know what? I think any spot is really his spot at the moment. We've got a minute to go in the first. 5 of 6 from 3 in the first. As it comes to a close, off the miss, Doncic again. 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in a quarter. And the Warriors were going to catch a bad one in this one. And that first quarter was really just the beginning. I told you he loved that spot. Picking right up where he left off. Porzingis gets an easy 2. That's his 6th assist. Doncic, Euro stepping. He finished the first half with 33 points, most by any player in a first half this season. It looked for a while like he might outscore Golden State on his own. Doncic in the third slowed down, did get his 10th assist to Tim Hardaway Jr. to complete the triple-double. 35, 11, and 10. It's the fewest minutes played in a 30-point triple-double in NBA history. He keeps making NBA history every time he goes out there. They win 142-94. Steve Kerr's familiar with great players. What's he think of this guy?
He was awful. He was didn't impress me at all. He was fantastic right from the beginning of the game. You know, he was doing his thing, knocking down threes, drawing fouls. So he appreciate and respect, yes. Enjoy, definitely not. Tough to lose by 48 points, but you know, a break here or there, and it only would have been 42. So that's how we have to look at it. Nobody caught the sarcasm there?
I did.
Trying to be funny, guys.
Different sort of year for Steve Kerr. Doncic, meanwhile, averaged a 30-point triple-double in the last 10 games. According to Elias, he's the 5th player ever to do it. Typically, when you become the 5th player ever to do something great, this is what your 5 looks like. How about that's your 5, Steve?
Good 5.
Yeah, our team is on the floor. Who's got next? Russell will do the NBA. Rockets of Houston entering the night on an 8-game winning streak. And you see they've also had James Harden go for 36 or more. James Harden off the rip gets going early. But Denver really made it a point in this game to play defense and try to limit Harden, which obviously everybody's going to try to do. But can you? Westbrook there with the lay-in. And then steps into the long 3. Yeah, you better guard him anytime he's on the other side of half court. But the Nuggets have a 4-point lead. Nikola Jokic. Float game.
On point.
Float game from the big man, the elegant. There's the defense. Now you understand Nuggets, why Coach Malone's saying, hey, how about some effort? How about we show that we care? How about we guard? It leads to a Will Barton dunk in transition. Nuggets up 8. It's a 10-point lead into the 4th. And we have put the Harden portion of the highlight to bed because this is the Torrey Craig and one as the Nuggets lead by 12. And then Harden has it ripped. Oh, my. Craig showing out a bit. Harden had 27, held well under his average, did have 8 turnovers as well as the Nuggets moved to 10-3. Just a game off Houston's bumper out west. This was the first time this year the Rockets scored fewer than 100 in a game, hit just a dozen threes, which is tied for their second fewest in a game, and Harden had his second lowest point total of the season. You add that up, and that adds up to why Houston on the wrong side of it for the first time in the last 9 games. All right.
Way to start your week.
A bit of nonsense, a bit of hijinks off a great basketball game. We revisit. Tim Legler sitting down. We'll be breaking this down shortly. Obviously, it's the first time we see Kawhi and Paul George on the floor together, so all of it will be dissected. What's it going to look like? Well, I bet it's going to look good because they're awfully good early on at 3. Spin for Kawhi. They each had 5 in the first quarter. Early third, Boston, 2-point lead. Celtics missed their first 16 threes of this game. There was a lot of defense. It's a make-miss league. There are a lot of misses. Leonard drills the 3. George hits the 3. They're starting to get warm, but they weren't the only stars in this game. Jason Tatum, so smooth. Got so much to his game, and he's only getting better and better as we go. Tatum, all 3 of these. Had 14 in the third, while George had 8. The Celtics led by 6 entering the fourth. 6 minutes to go. Kemba, new man in town. Beautiful play design. When he catches in rhythm with the shoulders square, forget it. Celtics lead by 10 midway through the fourth. But, I mean, this is a bad moment right now.
I'm now the president of everybody.
A bad moment for Daniel Tice. He jumps and Kawhi dunks, and I'm not going to hit the Ballmer drop, but he was excited. Patrick Beverley. Out the mud. Got that big contract this offseason, rewarded for all of his efforts. It's suddenly a 2-point game. Then Lou Williams. I love this guy's game. It's effortless. He's going to be the dude that shows up at the open gym when he's 55 and slides and gets buckets on everybody. He hits the 3, and suddenly the Clippers have erased the deficit. They lead by 1. They get a steal. Kemba's furious he doesn't get the foul call. That sets up this. Tatum. George slips to the ground. Doc wanted a walk as Tatum got his feet set. He buries that. Tie game. Late, Lou Williams is like, Kawhi, I'll make it. Kawhi gets a good look. It rattles in and out. And we play on in Los Angeles. In overtime. High-level shot making continues. Off the miss, the make. And who was that got that rebound?
Damn.
Out the mud. Beverly. George. Sets it up. Beverly again. He's been off to a poor start from 3, but he buries a couple of huge ones here. Tatum. The defense, I mean, it's Kawhi. That's such a high degree of difficulty shot. You're going the wrong way. The defense here again, and I know that's something Tim Legler is just itching to talk about and will in just a moment. Doris Burke explained that Montrezl Harrell's really elevated his game here. That's the pass the big man has to make, and again it's Beverly. Corner 3. But as was the story throughout, Boston won't go away. Tatum gets lost. That's as easy a bucket as the Clippers are going to give up. They just fell asleep on the inbounds. Need to get a stop and try to get the ball back to try to tie it. This time it's Williams. And the great defense went both ways.
Incredible play.
It really is. Marcus Smart deny. The deflection's one thing, but now he's vertical and knocks it off of Kawhi's foot to give the Celtics a chance. But the Clippers had a foul to give, and off a miss, Beverly gave that foul, and it looked like Kemba's going to get a great look. But he did not, because the guy that's on the closeout is Kawhi. His wingspan, his hand size, and his basketball IQ combined to make that a blocked shot. And these are two, again, as Doris Burke said, and I agree, really good basketball teams that played a really high-level November game. Clippers outscored the Celtics 31-18 in the final 6 minutes of the fourth and overtime. A bunch of threes, as you saw. Patrick Beverley with a dozen, hit 4 of those 5 threes during this stretch. We welcome in Tim Legler. Always fun to sit down with you. Obviously, Kawhi and George on the floor. We'll talk about that. Yeah. But first, you got Lou, you got Beverly, these nice little luxuries. But what makes the Clippers, in your opinion, such a problem moving forward in the half court is what?
Yeah, well, first of all, they've got the 3. No team has 3 offensive players like they have when you add Lou Williams to the mix. They can get the shot anytime they want to.
Sure.
So offensively, they've got more than teams. But what they do defensively with their perimeter speed, Scott, no team in the league can match what they can bring at you. Show you an example of this early in the game. And we wanted to focus on Paul George and Kawhi, but you can't watch them play defense without including Patrick Beverley. I'm sorry. You just cannot. And what a luxury it is to have a guy like this who right now is guarding Jason Tatum, a 6'8 forward, and on this dribble handoff action right here, to be able to have a guy then that could jump out and play this dribble handoff and not only do that, but then do this. How many guys are willing to go and fight over the screen?
Nobody.
Right?
Everyone goes under.
On a DHO, you usually go under that. You know Kemba's probably not going to pull that right there, so it'll be easy to go under. Instead, let me go over the top and chase, and look what it ends up leading to. Now, you get this pocket pass, balls on the floor. This is what great defensive teams do. Flood to the ball. 5 guys in the lane on the loose ball. Now, can you recover out to the three-point line? Because defense is all about help and recover. Look at this effort by Paul George. He actually closes out on the wrong side. The ball comes to the middle. He's beaten. Watch this recovery. One step, the effort to cut him off. This play's not over. Now, Kawhi's going to get in the mix here. We get actually dribble penetration. It looks like he's going to be beat to the rim. Kawhi is lurking in the back. What a luxury to have a 2-guard in the back line defense. Watch him come over, and as he does, the chain of events that it triggers. As he comes, he leaves his man in the corner. This ball is going to get passed out. One guy is going to be able to get there. Take a look at the closeout of Paul George to protect Kawhi Leonard on this. And then, Scott, impossibly, the ball is swung. This has to be a naked 3.
Right.
No, not if Patrick Beverley's on the floor. Look at the ground that Patrick Beverley covers. Now, look, he doesn't quite get there, but you don't think running by a shooter with that speed affects a dude? I used to take that shot, and I know that bothers you, especially when he runs to the right hand the way Patrick Beverley did. That's as good as it gets with help and recover with those 3 guys and what this team ultimately can be.
That's one possession. It's exhausting to see. The Celtics were 1 of 15 with Kawhi, the primary defender, on the 3, and then he got that block late, as you saw. Obviously, it's George Kawhi for the first time. They're going to manage their minutes and their games throughout this season. But when they're on the floor together, as they build familiarity and cohesion together, what's it going to look like?
Ultimately, what I'm envisioning, and I didn't see it much tonight because they staggered minutes a lot, but you're going to see, action on one side of the floor like that with Kawhi Leonard drawing 2, and you got a spot-up three-point shooter on the side if it's Paul George. But what I want to see, and I didn't see much of it tonight, one guy initiating action on the side of the floor, drawing 2, swinging it out of that, getting to the other side of the floor into the hands of another elite playmaker who runs action, draws 2, and it ends up leading to a pocket pass dunk, corner 3, you name it, because both of them can beat you from anywhere on the floor as scorers. They can also pick you apart as passers and playmakers, and it's going to be special. They're a long way from where they're going to be offensively. But defensively, you're already seeing some of the returns.
Yeah, then they make it hell on you on the other end when they go guard you. All right, on the way out here, if something's important to you, it's important to us. Some history was made in Philadelphia last night, and I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, I can't let this go unnoticed. He's a Philadelphia icon. His name is Herb McGee. He's already in the Hall of Fame. But he did something last night and got his 1100th win. Now, put it in perspective, there's only one other guy on that list, Scott, and that's Mike Krzyzewski. He's been the head coach at Jefferson University, used to be Philly U, for 53 years. Wow. 47,000 point scorers he's had, 30 NCAA tournament teams. Those are all numbers that are nice, but for me, the reason I wanted to make sure I gave Herbie a shout out, the impact he's had on all of these young men. I mean, a lot of guys don't necessarily do it the right way. Number one thing you have to do as a coach, perpetuate the love for the game. When you get these young men, prepare them for life, be a mentor, be somebody that makes guys understand what it means to play this game in a beautiful way, in a collective unity. That's what Herb McGee is all about. I admire his teams. I admire the way they play. I admire the man. He's had a great impact on an awful lot of people. He is a Philadelphia legend, and he did something last night. When you get on a list with a guy like Mike Krzyzewski, and you're the only 2 at that table, you need to get a special shout out. So congrats, Herb. I'm proud of you, and I consider him a friend and a great man.
Well done. When you're at a high top, we got a table for 2. It's K and you. That's well said. And we always talk about Big
Thanks
Five
for the
basketball.
time, by the way.
No, without
Appreciate
question,
that.
man. I love how much Philadelphia loves basketball, so obviously he's been a huge part of that. Well done.